So I reached the part where Hamish is in Plutarch's house, and I have no idea why. Panache is a complete bum. Like, I hope he dies fast. Like, he shouldn't even reach the fight with Hamish. He should be one of the first two to die in a freaking bloodbath. If not earlier, since we already had someone die before the games. But why is Plutarch led him to his house, though? Why? Let's see. Also, the District 3 is allying with District 7 and 8. Not a surprise. District 12 is joined. District 11 said they joined. I wouldn't trust District 11. I just went off. District 11 plays their own game. Their only refining feature is their values. But unless there's some very strong reason. But if it's just normal, they'd kill you. Let's be honest. Now, I'm not surprised that Plutarch has strange alcohol and carnivorous plants in his house. I'll just tell you that. Okay, so President Snow has been unwell for over 25 years? Like, seriously? That's actually an impressive amount of time to remain unwell. And yes, Hamish has been escorted to personally meet President Snow in Plutarch's house. So Plutarch is older. I think a lot of the capital people are older, but we get a clue of how much older. Yeah. It was really funny how Plutarch was the camera person to reaping. Editing everything, so that part was real funny. His book is funny. Believe me, romantically speaking, you're dodging a bullet with these games. He's meeting Snow in person at Plutarch's house. See how it goes. I'm at chapter 10. My heart leaps and then sinks into like a stone. I feel well as crushed skull leaking hot blood in me. What? Hide heart-shaped face, big eyes, long dark plates, fingernails are bitten down. Matches the one the real God falling off her cistern. Holy shock! This is shocking. So they remade Wallala. Okay. They'll probably put her in the games. Honestly, so there's no suspicion. They should have only cut out, after she'd fallen off the chariot, but okay. This is, hello, Hamish. How did Snow pull this off? Cloning Wallala? I mean, it's kind of a bittersweet gift. Like, it's not the worst that Snow could do. Some people would actually find it a gift, and some would find it creepy as hell. He cloned Wallala to give to her. Huh. Hamish, whatever you do, just put it together with this new Wallala. Okay? Okay, so Snow is given body to both Wallala. Mixed feelings about that. Still, the other tribute to that Wallala is actually brain damaged. In reality, she's been replaced with a body double, but that's actually frankly there. And yeah. BD has set a plan to break the arena. The power is out. That's nice. So, I've reached the end of chapter 12, and there's a few logical important questions I had. First of all, where did Hamish get his combat skills? It was never directly alluded to, but Hamish, when they're practicing knife throwing, always manages to stick to knife and says, I'm no stranger to knife games. This kind of implies that he did play around with foam knives as well, or something like that. and not just knife throwing, because those are two different skills. He doesn't say it directly, but he implies it, which means that the theme I had for my channel, making foam knives, playing them with myself, having other people play with them, that was actually a logical thing. Well, that makes sense. Another very interesting question I had before reading his book was what clues about the arena were there in their training? We know in Katniss's time there's an edible plant section. We also know that in Haymitch's games, all the plants are poisonous. Is there any edible plant section? And of course, Haymitch's mentors, Wyrus and Max, also tell him that the training center would give you clues about the arena. And here I am. They're speaking about a knife throwing department, fire starting. The mushroom department is full of poisonous mushrooms. He didn't mention any edible mushrooms. I guess they're all poisonous. It's the 58 Hunger Games, which is what we know. But of course, the mentors don't actually know what's in the games. I didn't actually remember hearing about any edible plant section. No edible plant section was mentioned at all. There were a few possibilities. Either there's no edible plant section, because there's no edible plants, or there is an edible plant section, but some stupid, ridiculous lie. No edible plant section was a pretty logical, sensible explanation for an arena where all the plants are poisonous. Also, they're rehearsing their interviews with Drusilla. Drusilla is actually not that bad. And we're ready for a big, big day. Big, big, big day. That's Effie Trinket. It seems. The start of chapter 13. Let's see. Okay. So here's a bit more confirmation. Effie is closer to Banks' age in the original trilogy, because this is 24 years before, don't forget that. And, well, she's popped in and gotten them decent footwear. She must be really young here. A lot of it's really old. Fortunately, all the war styles are back in fashion. Effie seems to be aware of Dark Days fashion. And then, well, I suspected that Effie was aware of the earlier Hunger Games, including Lucy Gray. This kind of hints towards I was probably right, but it, of course, is not proof. But yeah, it hints towards it pretty strongly. Yeah. Hot take, I didn't like how Festus's introduction of the betting and dogfights was cut out of Ballad of Soundwoods and Snakes. I want Wyatt's odds betting and his family's odds betting to feature in the movie when they make this. It's a bit late to say this based on how far I am in the book, page 176, but Katniss would say the careers get an 8 to 10. Nobody that she remembered ever got an 11. Haymitch said the careers got an 8 to 11. Also, 1 in Katniss's time is supposed to be unachievably low. But Haymitch got a 1. This tells me that the training scores from early Hunger Games weren't really released much. Not even Hunger Games like 30 years before Katniss's. And 2, that, well, the game makers became harder and harder to impress over the years. It was a girl from 4 who got an 11. I mean, there were 2 alternate things. Either there were people who gotten an 11 in the training score before Katniss could remember, or before she'd seen, or, you know, it was always this strict. And then when Plutarch, therefore, nods that, yeah, 11's the highest it's ever been given, or the first time it's been given, he's lying, because he's around here at this time. I mean, way to prop Katniss up. Their standards for giving an 11, or in fact for giving a 2, I've changed it a lot, so yeah. Also, the big bad career seems to be Panache, but Panache is described as like 300 pounds. Like, how are you able to to be able to like run long for that with that much body weight? I imagine like he's both jacked and has a bunch of fat, kind of like a young sumo wrestler, and his calves are like monstrously humongous because you know why. But yeah. Another thing I forgot to mention is that BD mentions a subterranean A, where they do things like introduce mutts and store water and all that stuff in every arena. And he's actually given Haymitch a plan to break the arena, but this sounds just way too freaking complicated. There's no way he's going to be able to pull it off. Sorry for writing him off. Also, Haymitch is here playing the rascal angle, Nobody ever scores a one, and Hamish is obviously actually looks pretty strong and fierce. He's bad news, boys. He's a bad boy. All the Wattpad people in the capital are gonna swoon over him, I guess. Yeah. Page 177 at the moment. Hot take before the game starts. I really think Ampert's gonna die really soon. Okay, so we're at the part with the interviews with Cedar Flickerman. It's page 180. I'm just going to read this out loud. Here in the green room, a young game maker lines up District 1 and 2, reading out an order of appearance. They follow out the door. Okay, on screen, Caesar launches into a brief retrospective of the other 49 games, starting with the no-frills version of the earliest directly after the war when the tributes were thrown into an old, bombed-out sports arena with weapons and little else. I watched carefully when he talks about the 10th games being a turning point, and that was the year District 12 had a victory. But they only featured the introduction of betting, the sponsors, and the rickety drones to drop food and water to the tributes. This is where I'm actually wondering what Food Africa, the mentors were in like the 10th to 25th. Yeah. From this point on, the games evolved from pure punishment to unapologetic entertainment. The original sports venue was abandoned as the game makers began to use existing things in the wild or bombed out towns and such, introducing an assortment of mutts and a variety of weapons. The 25th games, the first quarter claw, proved particularly heinous. The districts were forced to choose their own tributes. Okay, yeah. Another Flickerman named Lucky hosted with commentary from a relic of a woman named Gall, who was credited with coining the phrase, "May the odds be ever in..." Gall actually made that phrase? Yeah, as I said, Gall never really succeeded in fully erasing the 10th Hunger Games because there's just too many viewers.